Welcome to Bone to Bone Marriage of the Heart. We are your hosts. I am Katina Robinson.
And I'm Ronnie Robinson.
And we are here as Bone to Bone Marriage of the Heart. And we're going to tell you a little bit about what Bone to Bone Marriage of the Heart is. The scripture reference is Genesis 2:23 and 24.
23 says, "And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man." Verse 24, "Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh."
Amen. I love being your one flesh, babe.
Hey, I just want to say to the audience, look how beautiful this lady is.
Well,
That's
you,
my
baby.
treasure.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. And the second part of Marriage of the Heart, it comes from Matthew 6:21, which says, "For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also."
Amen.
The purpose of Bone to Bone Marriage of the Heart is to encourage couples to remember love is worth fighting for. All right. So we're super excited that you guys tuned in tonight.
Yes.
And I'm about to introduce our guest. We are so glad to have our guest here. Miss Mahalia Watson is a native of Greenville, Mississippi. She is a graduate of ORU, which is Oral Roberts University in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Smart cookie.
She began her career as a therapist to abused foster children, and now an author, motivational speaker, recording artist, ordained evangelist, and founder of the much acclaimed Anti-Fist Project. So we welcome you to Bone to Bone.
Thank you all for having me.
Yes.
Thanks for
We
having
are
me.
so glad to have you. So we're going to let you tell us the topic and go right into talking about it, because we're
it's
ready to
deep tonight,
dive
guys.
in.
So listen up. Single people, listen up.
No,
And
everybody
married.
listen.
And married.
Everybody,
And married.
yes.
So, hi. First off, I'm very excited to be here. Thank you both for having me.
Yes.
So I'm not necessarily the guru, if you will, but the topic that we were going to discuss tonight is vying for validity for Valentine's Day.
Listen, say it again. I like it.
Vying, which means contending or fighting for, searching
Yes.
for validity for Valentine's Day. And a friend of mine was like, all these V's. And I'm like, I didn't find the V's. I didn't land on the V's. The V's landed on me. So the real is, today is what? February 1st.
It is.
And a lot of people have love in the air. And,
Especially these two
Right.
here.
And the thing is, for a lot of people, it's a lot of excitement and cheer. And then there is a population of people who are not as excited, about the love. There's depression also lurking. You got loneliness lurking. You have that insecurity or that insignificance that's lurking. So we wanted to talk about the vying for validity, because you are still valid, no matter your status.
Yes.
That's why I'm like, it's
That's
not
right.
just for singles,
That's right.
because there are some married people. If I got to be real with it, there are some married people that don't feel valid, even in their marital status.
That's true.
So Valentine's Day is just the one day, but let's talk about the different types of love and what we can do in this season so that we combat that depression and that low spot or what have you.
Yes. So let's do that. Let's talk about the 4 types of love.
Well, okay, and then there are more than 4.
Yes.
Because I know somebody going to research me. I love the saints that come back. But it's actually, so I appreciate y'all that's got me on lock. There are more than 4 types. And we're going to look at the Greek words. And these are probably, expressed to you at church or somewhere else, so you've seen them. So let's start with, I'm going to start in the reverse order. Most people start with eros. I'm going to say that one for last.
She's so
Let's
smart.
go. I want to start with agape. And agape is the unconditional love of the Father, with the love that God has for us.
Yes.
Okay? And a lot of times that's love that people can't accept because what you mean, I'm flawed and I'm whatever. And so sometimes we confuse God's love, the agape love, for what people's love is, you know. And I'm like, yeah, it's not even comparable.
I know that's right.
The bottom line is, you know, we have so many flaws.
Yes.
I mean, I'm like, he was like, I love you still. Like, if you look in Ezekiel chapter 16, he talks about, I passed by you in a field, you were lying in your own blood, and I threw my skirt over you, and there's that love, that feeling of I still accepted, wanted, and have that unconditional love for you.
Yes,
and I dressed you up, and I, you know, made you cute. And so, so that's agape. And then you got phileo. Now, phileo is more like a brotherly love, you know, where there's the Philadelphia, city of brotherly love.
Right.
It's that love that you have one
Go
for another.
Philly, by the way.
Friends. Yeah, we almost got throat chopping on like but no.
Let's stay focused.
I am a Minnesota fan. Go Vikings.
We're not gonna get into sports tonight, y'all.
Okay, but
we
the
have
phileo love. See, we're doing phileo love.
Yeah,
we're expressing brotherly love.
Yes, y'all.
We're gonna have love taps.
Yes.
And so, the phileo love is brotherly love, one to another. Friends is they're categorized, and then I'm trying to make sure I just keep them real simple. And then there's storge. Storge is more like parent to child type love.
Yes.
How they, you know, parents have unconditional love for their children.
Yes.
They receive them, accept them for their flaws. Some parents say their kids can do no wrong and will uphold them even in their wrong.
Wow.
So that's that storge type love, or what it's supposed to look like, kind of, sort of. And then you have eros. That's what's in the air. Cupid is shooting arrows everywhere. It's the strong, passionate, intense feeling that has that ardent, fervent, that invokes romantic.
Just say bone to bone marriage to the love. Just say
I'm
that.
gonna let them work that out. I am not privy to such. So
it's on the way. It's on the way.
Right. And I'm okay. Look, let me be clear. I'm okay with waiting for that extra.
That's right. The
bones to bone.
And now there's a scripture I always say. There's the steps of a good man is ordered by the Lord, but you can say the steps of a good woman is ordered by the Lord.
Absolutely.
So yeah, you take your time. You let God order this thing.
And the truth be told, and I can just be, you know, transparent here. Yes. When it comes to that, you know, I get questions a lot about, like, what are you waiting on to get married? Why are you not married? And I'm like, he who finds, finds a good thing,
That's
right?
it.
And so with that, he who finds, and if you're watching and you found me, anyway, so, but if you, he who finds, but the thing is, he can't lean to his own understanding. Like, in all his ways, he have to acknowledge God too. So if you're not one of those people that God has spoken to, and because the real is he'll speak to me too. So I'm like, don't ask me what I'm waiting on, because the clapback you might not like the clapback, because most times I'm like, I'm waiting on you to be happy in your marriage. You know, a lot of times people aren't happy and they, you know, all in this. Or, you know, or what is he waiting on? I'm like, I don't know what he waiting on, but I know, you know. And then I still say, because of the agape love God has for me, I think that because God loves me so much, he's allowing this wait time, which is a beautiful time for me to be continually preparing to be his wife.
Amen.
He who finds a wife finds a good thing. Not who he finds a woman. And I'm like, I'm a woman innately, but am I a wife? Am I knowing how to finance or handle my finances or take care of housekeeping and that type of thing? So am I constantly being mindful of being a wife? So I'm good with it. And then shout out to Jamie Grace if she's watching. Woo woo! Just got engaged, and I love that she
and
does.
that's good. That's good. That means that he found her.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure, since you know her, she's a praying woman. So
I know of her.
Right,
we're not personal friends. Y'all don't go throw that out there.
Right.
But she just spoke it into existence. That's what just happened.
But single guys out there, I have learned that women are praying for that man to find them, but they're on their knees and they're praying that God allow that man to order his steps to find you. And I know there's women out there doing that, and ladies out there, keep doing that, and I guarantee you the right man will find you.
Amen. I'm encouraged.
The God ordained man.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
It's got to be God ordained.
Amen.
Because y'all know we keep it 100 on bone to bone.
That's right.
We both have experienced being married to who we chose to marry.
Yes.
And then we are now experiencing when God ordained that person for you. It is a whole different ball game. You love your marriage. You love being with that person. You love spending time with them. It ain't one of those things like, oh, I'll be so glad when he go to work. It ain't that kind of party. When you truly are married to the person that God has ordained you to be married to, you enjoy your marriage to the fullest. It's not a fake. It's not a front for people. Right. You truly enjoy each other's company, and you look forward to getting home to that person every evening and cuddling with that person at night. Amen. So that's when it's God ordained. So you don't want who you think you want. Let it be who God ordained for you.
So amen. Let agape choose it versus letting eros choose it.
Yes. There you go. Yes. Let's not choose with our emotions and the wrong body parts and all of that. Let's let agape love, which is God's love, choose who you're supposed to be with. Amen. Amen. And I was going to say right now, if you would go ahead and share the video so everyone that's watching, I know it's blessing you. I ain't even got to ask you if it's blessing you or not, but go ahead and share the video, and so everyone can have the opportunity to hear what we're ministering about tonight. We have some comments that say that, all right. God prepares me. Yes, Miss Carolyn, let God prepare you. He's preparing you. I'm sorry, I missed some comments. Oh, I was sharing. Okay, hey Deborah. She said hey.
Hey Deborah.
Hey, Mr. Van Lloyd. He said, hey my brother, sister
Van,
in Christ.
How you doing? I missed you the other week now.
And hey, Apostle Hams. Hey. Hello. Robert. Hey, Robert. Hello, Miss Wilson. Hello, Miss Carolyn.
Oh my goodness. We got some people tuning in tonight.
Someone he works with. So thank y'all all for tuning in.
Robert, this is your key word. Lou.
Okay, we don't know what all that means.
That's his keyword.
Okay, but what we're going to do is ask you to go ahead and share the video. As you can see, we're not in the studio we're normally in, but that stops nothing. Ministry goes on no matter what happens. So we are still going forward with what God has called us to do. And so please share the video, invite people to come and watch, because you do not want to miss what we're talking about on tonight. And so let's go into our second topic of the hour. And that's millennium singles, mingling while singling. Are you validated in your singleness?
That's all I say is help them, Lord.
Go ahead, my sister. We're going to let you take the lead on that one. Go ahead.
Well, just kind of picking up from where we were. One of the things that I wanted to point out when she was saying, letting God choose it, being validated in your singleness has a whole lot to do with that. One of the things I kind of live by is, look, we just can't live in the bedroom. Can we live in the kitchen, the bathroom, like in all these other parts of the house? So I'm not really worried so much about how you can lay it down in the bedroom.
All right.
Only. But I want to know if we can, get the prayers up in the upper room. Can we go somewhere other than just the bedroom? Are we only good when we're what I call marital worshiping?
Come on.
Right?
Come on. Keep it real.
So let's talk about your validation in your singleness. So I'm single, happily single. And when we were talking about the mingling while singling, what are you doing while you're in this wonderful stage of singleness? And in this particular part is where I focus more on purpose. And I think the last time I was here, I was talking about purpose. Mm-hmm. And for me, purpose is so huge.
Yes.
Because if you don't know, I've always said this: God doesn't marry people; He marries purposes. Mm-hmm. Well, if I don't know my purpose and He didn't know His purpose, or one of us, we're unequally yoked, so I know my purpose and He doesn't know his, or vice versa.
That's good.
Then I feel like it's a recipe for some type of disaster.
It is.
Like before long, like he's applauding now, but what happens when he realizes, I don't know where I'm going, or I'm in her shadow, or I got to be the man, and that type of thing. I think it's a setup for frustration.
It is.
And I know that there are some people that make it. I'm saying for our best possible, wouldn't we want to know why we were here? Why is it that I get up every morning? Why is breath still in my lungs? because a lot of people didn't make it,
That's
So while we're in this wonderful moment of singleness glory, let's find out why we're here.
Yes.
What are we supposed to be doing? I'm not just a human being. I'm supposed to be doing something while I'm being. So what's my purpose for being here? And while I'm pursuing that, I think it was Pastor Billy Joe Daughtery was talking about it one time. He was like, here's the top of the triangle. There's God, and there are two people, and they're meeting, and God is their purpose. And we're talking about that, and he was talking about all of that as it related to purpose. And I remember retweeting or tweeting, there's a difference between hunger and thirst. Now, there's a slang. I don't know if y'all know it. They were like, she thirsty, he thirsty. Okay, being thirsty means anybody that'll give you some attention, that's who you after. And that means, like, they be like, some people are partial. They want anybody.
They want attention.
And for
Listen
me,
up, guys.
yes, and for me,
Listen up.
like, I'm like, the word says those who hunger and thirst for righteousness shall be filled. But key word here is righteousness on that. But for me, the hunger for my purpose is different than the thirst just running after anybody.
Come on.
Right.
And so when I'm looking at my purpose, a lot of times I'll miss some people that's watching me do my purpose.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, you were observing, got it. But I was, busy doing kind of like Ruth.
Your purpose.
Ruth was in a field gleaning.
That's
She
true.
was. She wasn't in the banquet hall.
No.
She wasn't just, getting her nails done at that moment. She was working. And Boaz took note of it and said, hey, who that?
Come on.
Exactly. He
That's right.
noticed her.
Right, noticed her, and then he knew his purpose. He knew his position is to, to take care of the kinsman, and he was, a man of good wealth. And I mean, he was older too, y'all. A lot of people kind of leave that part out. I want my Boaz. Do you want the older man? Y'all better.
But
It's
one of the
really,
things-
it's really bone to bone
One of
tonight,
the
y'all.
things
So,
you said that caught my attention is you mentioned about being unequally yoked. And that always catches my attention when we talk about being unequally yoked, because that's the worst thing you can do is be yoked up to someone that you're not supposed to be yoked to. Because you got to look at when you marry someone, and especially when you marry who God ordained for you to, marriage is a seed. And
come
so
on.
if you are yoked up to somebody you're not supposed to, that seed is going to die. It's
No
not going.
fruits.
It's not going to be watered. It's not going to get the sunlight. It's not going to get anything that it needs because it's in a place that it's not supposed to be. So when you're equally yoked and you're with who God called you to be with, then that seed when that marriage come together and that seed is there, he is going to water my seed. And I'm going to water his seed. I'm going to help his seed to grow. He's going to help my seed to grow. And together, we're going to have branches.
Yes.
And branches,
Vine.
branches,
Yes.
vine,
Yeah.
branches. It's going to be fruitful. It's going to
Yes.
produce something. But
Yes.
if you're unequally yoked, there is no production going to take place.
Yeah,
Right.
amen. That's awesome, baby.
That's
That's awesome.
like what Psalm 128. He talks about the children around the table,
Yes.
and there's a whole lot of growth and fruitfulness in the children.
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, and that scripture came to me, but I was like, come on, Lord. Like when you're talking about that, I want to be in a relationship or in a marriage where I'm able to respect my husband. My husband can love on me because those are the roles, and he's a lot kind of like what we got with Joyce Meyer and Dave. You got Katina and Ronnie Robinson, where they're not afraid to let their wives be who they are,
Hey,
and it
man.
doesn't
Oh,
diminish
you hit
who
it.
they are.
You hit that. You
They're
hit
like,
that.
you know
Yes.
what? Because Dave Meyer will get on the stage and say what he needs to say and feels just as comfortable being in the background, understanding this is her purpose and his responsibility is to allow her to flourish for the kingdom of God. And I have to have that.
Yeah.
That's a prerequisite.
Oh, yeah.
I want to piggyback on that
Okay.
because I want to talk to the single guys out there. First of all, humble yourself. Give yourself 100. If you want to be a married fellow, give yourself 100. Get yourself prepared to when you find that lady, she'll see everything in order. First of all, she's going to see Christ first. So humble yourself and understand that it ain't like she said earlier. It's not all about the bedroom. It's a lot of things is about making love. Man, if you can wash dishes, that's making love.
Hey.
If you can mow that yard,
Some
that's
offering.
making
Oh,
love.
I know.
So-
Drop the offering. Drop the offering. Where's the offering plate?
No,
Go ahead,
I'm
baby.
just keeping it real.
Yeah.
Real,
A
baby.
100 man can do everything the lady can do at home except have that baby.
Teach.
You hear me?
Sir.
So humble yourself and find that lady that first of all you got to do what God tell you to do, single guys out there. And he will prepare you. He will make your eyes roam into the right spot.
Amen.
And when you find that person that you want, she will be ready to share God with you.
Come on,
That's
baby.
the bottom line.
Mm-hmm.
Drop the
Go
mic.
ahead. Yeah, Mike just dropped.
No, that's the truth. That's
That was
Jesus.
awesome.
I'm serious.
All right. So we were talking about, are you validated in your singleness?
Right.
Go ahead. I'm going to let you.
She's like she's bringing us
Y'all-
back in. She's corralling us back in.
Yeah,
So
what
we're
I'm
talking
doing
about-
in the background is inviting on my phone, so don't think I'm dropping out of the conversation or nothing like that. I'm
Baby,
inviting.
You can't
I'm
drop out of
sharing.
nothing with me. You're going to be dropping. When you drop, you're dropping in my arms. That's
Yes,
what you're going
sir. But I am sharing the video and inviting people to the page. So I am engaged. So don't
Yes,
think
yes.
I'm not engaged. But go ahead, my friend.
So when we were talking about being validated, it goes back to being able to own your security in who you are. A lot of times you hear people, like especially this season, if they are not booed up, they don't feel validated. And that's the farthest thing from the truth. Like what's going to happen after February 14th? Being validated in your singleness looks a whole lot like being okay if they're, cuddling in eros, doing all their things. Like, I mean, I'm sitting here and they doing all their thing and I'm just chuckling. But I'm okay. Like, I ain't mad because Roscoe ain't called me yet. Like, I'm quite okay.
Yes.
And being validated in your singleness, understanding that you can go to different singles events, couples events this time as a single and be all right. Don't have a conniption. I think every year I've had someone, and a lot of my counseling friends say that they have to, not necessarily talk anybody off the roof, but they are so focused at that time on loneliness and wishing that they were with someone, but they don't get the other side of that where there are people that are with someone who doesn't treat them well, who they don't want to be with.
Stay right there.
So,
Stay
you
right
got some married people that's looking at single people like, oh, if I could just be like you one more time.
Wow.
So, being validated in who you are in this season is amazing if you choose to value it. So, my whole thing when I was just hearing from God about, just talking about like, y'all, let's be 100. I don't know that there was a Valentine's Day that has gone by where I have had this sob, I'm going down, Mary J. Blige type. And not to say that makes me any better than anybody else. It just, my focus is different. I don't want Valentine's Day to take you out. We're emotionally, not like, I know you'll physically still be here, but I don't want you to feel like you're less important. That's what I meant by validation. You're not less important on Valentine's Day because you're single.
That's right.
Well, and I can say to the ladies, too, the same thing I said to the guys. The ladies, get yourself together. Yeah. Give yourself 100 first. Get yourself prepared for the future. And especially if you want that married man to find you, you be in the right place. Yes. So it's vice versa. Both of you need to get it together before you do this thing.
And the thing of it is, you have to have people around you that makes you accountable. Mahalia may be single, but I've learned so much from her.
Amen.
Just the way she carries herself and just the relationship she has with God speaks volumes. Mm-hmm. And so but when Valentine's Day come around or whatever, if you have single friends, you need to be making yourself available. Say, we can do stuff together. Don't ever be in that situation where you feel like, oh, I can't hang with this person because I'm married and they single. No, because you can learn a lot from those that are not married. Yes. We all can learn from each other. Right. And like I read in her bio, Mahalia is a therapist. Yeah. And so this is like her area of expertise anyway. Right. So I've learned so much. She shared some of her marriage therapy with us and has blessed us. And so just know where you are in your status and let God keep you at peace and in love and a comfort in that area, because don't look at someone else. Facebook has messed up a lot of people. Ooh. Because you look at Facebook and you look like they got it all together.
Or Facebook official.
Exactly. And you're looking at what you see on Facebook. Nobody puts the bad stuff on Facebook. You know, so you're seeing all the good. You're seeing none of the bad. You're not seeing none of the behind the scene action. And so don't let Facebook take you into a place that you weren't supposed to be.
Right.
If it is doing that for you, you need to get off of Facebook. Because if it's making you feel like you're less than because of what you see Sally Joe doing or Bobby Bob or whoever, you need to pull yourself from that.
Right.
Because if you're not feeling validated because of what you're seeing, remove yourself from that.
Right.
So
let me
go ahead,
piggyback on that. I want to say this. This is why I want to talk to the single guys to get themselves together, because this single sister right here, she's still available. But she, no, listen to what I'm saying, where I'm going.
I know, right?
But what I'm
Go
saying,
ahead,
I want them to know, get themselves together, and God will direct you to a lady that's got themselves together like this lady. We know this lady. My wife and I know her, and she's carrying herself at a high level, and that's because she ain't down on herself because she don't have a man. But that's why I'm saying it's a lot of single guys. You got to get yourself together, and to have a lady like this, I believe you got to have it together, because this lady is bringing it to the table.
You know, believe, because we won't let her accept nothing less.
Yes, that's
accountability partner.
That's right.
That's true. And the thing is, and I'm glad he said some of that, well, a lot of that. But the thing is, there's that intimidation that comes. You know, people. I love my church people, sanctuary people. Listen. I've heard some of the craziest things, you know, like, don't tell him you got a master's, don't tell him you got this. And, you know, like, because that intimidates him, I'm like, sir, if I'm the weaker vessel and I'm intimidating you by just stuff that I was doing while I was waiting on you to find me, that I was ordained to do while you were trying to find me, then I like, it was preparing us to have a better life together.
That's right.
You know, I was like, look, last year alone, I was thinking about how, last year alone, I had some things on my bucket list, and I got a chance to do 2 of those last year. One of the things was horseback riding. I went horseback riding. And I'm living to tell a story. And then I also went hot air ballooning. Well, sir, if you're not adventurous, it's okay. I've already been hot air ballooning, so I'm okay, you know?
That's good.
These are things that, you know, I don't just sit and wait on him to come before I do them. Start doing stuff.
Right.
I mean, that's what going into our next segment. But yeah, like what all to do. Listen, if and she's talking about accountability now. I'm glad that you talked about that, because a lot of people say, and I do understand to some degree, they'll say a married person shouldn't be hanging with a single person, and most of my friends are married. So I'm like, so does our friendships cut off because we're not, you know? And so, but the Bible talks about knowing those who labor among you. So if you have married people that you know, one of the two are whore. Can I say that on the TV? If they're whoring, then you probably should not be the single person, you know, being in the line of fire, because the wife and or the husband can have some insecurities there. So that ain't something you want to play around in.
That's right.
But if these are solid people, they confident in each other. They know I don't want, you know, either one of them. And I mean that, like, you know, I don't want her and I don't want him. We can be accountable. We can be accountable.
Transparent on bone to bone.
That's it. We can be accountable, and I'm not uncomfortable or feeling out of place, and she's not looking at me to see whether or not I want her husband, or we made eyes, or like, life is too short, y'all.
Amen.
That's right.
And that clap back would be real. But like, you barely want them. Don't come for me.
That's right.
You
And
know,
one of the
that type of
things
thing.
that you said too, while you were talking about people saying, don't let people know you got this or that. If they're not ready to receive the total package of who you are, whether you got degrees or wherever you are, then you going in it fake.
Wow.
Right.
And so one of the things we teach on Bone to Bone all the time is go in it being totally honest and transparent.
Yes.
You know, honesty can be if I asked a question and he had to answer me, but being totally transparent, that means he chose to share that information without me even have to ask, or I chose to share that information. So if you're not going in it, like prime example, my husband got a very damaged wife. Like, I was had some emotional scars, some childhood abuse scars, and all that kind of stuff. Had I not shared all that with him, he wouldn't know how to respond to me when I've had those breakdowns, or I saw a movie on TV that triggered something, or somebody did something a certain way and it made me act a certain way. He would not have known those things. He would not have known how to respond to me. Right. And so you got to be upfront and honest. Who you are is who you getting. So don't ever downplay yourself. Don't ever, women, I'm talking to y'all out there, don't ever downplay yourself because you feel like somebody's going to be threatened. If they threaten, they ain't for you.
Right. Yes, now, I will caution for just a second. I love what she said. No, Joshua Harris said it best. He's like, your level of commitment to me yields my level of intimacy. Mm-hmm. So before I let you see all of that, I need to know your level of commitment.
That's right.
Wow. So I'm not just walking up to know any and everybody, hi, I had abuse issues.
Because
the 100, because the 100 is, and we talked about this when we were doing the domestic violence thing, what kept Anime Bullock in that marriage, Tina Turner in that marriage, was he knew the one thing that she wasn't healed from. She was abandoned as a child. So when he was like, are you going to leave me like all the mother suckers? And she was like, I wouldn't do that to you. The reason why she wouldn't do it, because he knew the one thing that was going to hold her that was not healed. And his responsibility was to help to heal that part of her.
Supposed to be, yes.
And he didn't fulfill that. So she gave him parts of her heart that he wasn't ready to hold. He wasn't equipped to hold or to minister to.
That's right. They were unequally yoked.
I'm gonna piggyback on that. I just want to say one thing that I did do, and I know it wasn't but God ordained to do that. Guys, if you truly want to know your spouse or know your lady you want to get engaged to, study them. Yes. Study them. Yes. And I ain't talking about study them physically. Right. I'm saying the spiritual part of them, the things that hurt them or don't hurt them, or things that make them happy or sad. Study that lady where you'll know the things to do when y'all get married. It's gonna be off the chain, because one thing I do with my wife, every day I wake up, I ask God, give me something new to continue to shine my treasure. And this is my treasure. This is my treasure. Every time I open it up, I want to pull her out and I want to shine her like iron sharpening iron. You know, we want to go in the same direction. We want to be on one accord.
Okay,
so
I got a few comments I need to to talk about. Look, I've been sharing so much, I missed some of the comments. Sorry. But someone on here, Tiffany, said, I used to get dressed up and treat myself on Valentine's Day.
Yes, Tiffany, what?
And look, Tiffany, I always have to give her shout out, because Tiffany has been following us since way back when we was the Robinson Corner.
We love you.
And even farther than that, because she's known us for a while. And she used to always say that she gleaned from us, that she appreciate what we show. So I appreciate your support, your love. We love you, Tiffany, and keep doing what you're doing. We're so proud of you. You ain't got that ring now, girl.
Yes. But you always cute though. She right. She always kept that, together.
We proud of it. And tell your husband I said hi.
Yes. And so someone said, so true. Looks are deceiving sometimes. About looks being deceiving, that's where discerning kick in, because what you don't see with the natural eye, God shows it to you with that spiritual eye,
for sure.
And you can't be deceived. You can't deceive a true woman or man of God when they're in the vein with God.
Amen.
So
and
if you're in the vein,
if He shows it to you, don't ignore it.
That's right.
People, you've seen it on a grand scale with some celebrity spiritual leaders. On a large scale, they had discernment, and then they saw some things after the fact. They'll say, I saw this and I saw that, but they ignored it. Please don't ignore it. Don't ignore the gift that God gave you before that person ever stepped into your life. And don't be thirsty.
And to say on that, okay, like we're saying discernment. If you're not quite sure what that is, it's the same thing as intuition. It's the same thing as that gut feeling. When your gut tells you something ain't right, or I need to, pay more attention to that, listen to that. That is God's way of saying something to you.
And I'm glad you said listen. Okay, because I was just joking, but I was like, I'm listening. But listen and stop saying, people. Yeah. Don't say, you know what? I feel like God said that you this yada yada yada. You look. Now, if God showed you that the man got a kleptomaniac spirit, and all of a sudden you telling him, well, he ain't gonna steal the shirt or the $20 right then.
Yeah.
Come on now, he gonna give you some wisdom so you'll be able to see. You got all the evidence you need right here. You got receipts. Follow it.
But I'm anxious to say this.
Go ahead, baby.
Guys, now that goes for women too. Flip this thing.
Right.
Too. Guys, if you been abused or you been talked to and downed and all that, you may have the wrong woman in your life.
Right.
Because it works both ways. You know, that's why we talking to you guys tonight. It works both ways. When you got yourself together and you know Christ is leading you, things work out that way. But when you off the track and doing it your way, fleshly, that carnality of mind that you want. And by the way, while I'm mentioning it, and yeah, exactly. I'm gonna say this. Yeah. You got a lot of people right now. Arkansas is number 2 in the nation in divorces, and the reason why is that you got
in the United States.
Yes, and Arkansas only have 1.5 million people. But check this out. You got people getting married young because they got degrees and they looking at the carnality of things like, oh, we can have this, we can get that, and we can have this and get married. But then in that marriage, they find out this person, you passed wind in front of me. Or your breath don't smell like... Then you find these things out after the carnality of things, then they get a divorce. That's why the rate is so high. So young people... Get yourself together first. Financially, and that's okay to talk about finance. If you're single, work on your finances. Work on them. Find ways to get numerous ways to make money. Yes. And when you're ready to find that wife, you will bring a lot to the table to satisfy her on that mentality or carnality. But yeah, it's good to buy your wife something if she's your wife. But ladies, it's the same way. Get yourself together and bring it to the table.
And Mahel, you talked about listening. And so we get the question all the time, how do I know if it's the right one?
Right.
Like I said, you have to seek God. You cannot go into a marriage, not even a marriage, any relationship.
Right, like anything.
Like you have to choose your friends wisely. Like I know I have the testimony of choosing friends, and then I was like, oh my God, I got to drop that one. You know, so that's any relationship, but especially a marriage. If God has said anything to you, any red flags, you have to listen. There's a powerful gospel singer that have shared her testimony that she said, literally going down the aisle, when she was getting ready to walk through the doors, before the door opened, God told her not to marry that man. And because she had spent all that money on the wedding, and because all the family was there, she chose to marry him anyway. Now, this is a powerful woman of God that sing to all of us.
Don't say the name, baby. Don't say the name.
I'm not going to put the name out there, but just in case you have heard it, you know the story.
Yes.
But she was saying that's not the first time God spoke, but on that time he spoke very sternly, and she chose not to listen. That man whooped her butt all through the marriage, where she ended up with a divorce. And so that gut feeling, that discerning spirit, that intuition, whatever you want to call it, is speaking to you. God might not be saying that's not the one. He might be saying not now.
Right.
So sometimes it's a timing thing. Sometimes we want to rush and get
timing.
a status of being married, and it's not the timing.
That's good.
The right
baby.
thing
That's
at the
good.
wrong time is still the wrong thing.
It's still the wrong thing, and you're going to pay for it. And so like you can marry somebody at the wrong time, and y'all got to go through all these hurdles that had you waited on God's timing, you wouldn't have had to go through that. You would have been a little more mature. He would have been a little more mature. You might have been more financially ready. Whatever the fact of the matter is, God's timing and God's person for you, you have to hear him, because if you don't, end the story.
And let me put a pin in it.
Go ahead,
Share
baby.
this video, guys. My wife and I, we in this ministry. We're not turning back. So the devil gonna get his butt whipped a whole lot. But I want you to share this video because we are trying to get information out there to people that want to be married, engaged, or dating. We want you to know that love is real, and love is the thing why we are here. Because God loved us so he went to the cross and shedded his blood.
I'm going to do a few comments that's on here, a few shout outs, and we're going to get back to the subject at hand. So, hey, Brother Davis and Sister Davis. Hey, Chris.
Kiss that little baby for me.
Hey, Mama Golden. Hey Shirley. Hey Marina. Hey Monique. I'm trying to get everybody. Hey LaConda.
Hi there.
Hello,
Watson
Mother
in the
LeBron.
Hey,
Yes.
Mother LeBron.
And so Mother Elder Golden says, sometimes God show you too much.
Wow.
Yes, he do. Tiffany said, fast, pray, and hear from God. He'll show you if that person is the right one.
Amen.
Come on.
Exactly. He
Come
will.
on.
That
He
fasting
will
will do
show
it.
you. So I hope I didn't miss anyone's comment. If I did, please go ahead and repost it again. Because, I'm engaging in conversation and I'm trying to look on here. So go ahead and post it again. If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask your questions right now while you have the opportunity, while we're still live.
Yes.
Go ahead and share the video, please. We would love for you to share it and let other people hear what we're talking about tonight. So now we're going to go into the next question, which is, what are some things to do in this Valentine's season? Love that question.
Come on.
So, for me, I personally, I think just kind of like what Tiffany said, sometimes she'll dress herself up and go out. Well, I think it's important, like I gave at least 4 different types of love. I think it's important to focus on different types of love. If all the couples around you are focusing on Eros and you off of Facebook because you don't want to see everybody else's balloons and they Ferrero Rocher and Godiva Ghirardelli chocolates,
Come on.
and you upset about, look, go get you some chocolates, because I know I do. I go give me some chocolates. But I don't necessarily have to have flowers and all of that. I don't have to have a ring, the cake, kisses start. I don't need to have all that. The different types of love I'll focus on, like sometimes it's a friendship love. So I'll, if I know one of my good friends needs something or wants something or been, kind of hinting around that they would like to go do something. Sometimes I do that. I remember one year we were in college and I chose to focus on phileo love for Valentine's Day. That's what I did. So one of my friends liked oranges. Well, got a sack of oranges for Valentine's Day, which is way outside of the box for some people. And then another friend liked Twix. I'm sure you like. And you got Twix. And so, just different things that I know they like. Another friend likes gum, and so she got gum. Or, they'll get different things. Or the little kids, if you're focusing on the storage A part, look at some of the children that are around you and showing them some type of love.
Yes.
Giving them little stuffed animals or talking about how much they are, they have purpose and pouring into them, as opposed to just thinking about self. Make and set aside some time. Look. Give some of your friends that are married, give them a break and say, you know what, my dates tonight are going to be your little person and your little person. We're going to have our own little thing and play music and dance with the kids. Right. I mean, you can do so many different things. And it's on a Wednesday night.
Occupy your time.
Yeah.
It's on a Wednesday night this year anyway, y'all. Get to sanctuary. Get somebody's church. Go talk about agape love.
Yes.
And so, and I've always said this, and not even to be, what's the word? Can't think of the word. First time. No, I'm just playing. I couldn't think of the word at the time, but not whatever that word is, not to be that, but I'm saying if you have these moments where you just don't know what else to do or you can't think of anything else to do, always think about hey, what have I done have I gotten a manicure lately?
Come on.
Have I gotten a pedicure lately? Take care of you. If this one day of the year is going to make that much of a difference to you, then plan for it, ahead of time. You already kind of know what's going on.
That's right.
Or you just came out of a breakup. Or, God forbid, your spouse or whomever just passed away. Let's focus on some other ways to celebrate. Because love is everywhere.
Yes,
and that thought that was just there was not left, but I'm knowing it's coming back.
It's going to come back. We're going to keep talking until.
Yeah.
And so, Mahel, you kind of talked about what you can do when you're single. Of course, we like to talk about what you do when you're married. And a lot of people may be in a situation where they feel like I don't have the money to really do for my spouse like I want to. You put some candles. Fix a dinner, or if you can't cook, go buy the dinner and bring it. That woman will be so proud of you.
Yes.
You'll get everything you want that night. I promise you. So it's the small things. You know, we think it's got to be such a big thing. Sometimes I just totally want my husband's undivided attention. It ain't about what we're doing in that moment. It's just like sitting there because, you know, life makes you so busy. You know, when you got kids, whether they're grown or not, even when they grown and you're empty nesters, you still have to, you know, go to their rescue or be there for them at different times. So there's all kinds of things that you can do. So don't ever feel like because we ain't got the money, we're not going to do nothing. That's the wrong attitude.
It's all about the thought.
It is.
And this is that small thing. My wife, I have sometimes, every once in a while, I bring some little trick at home and just present it to her in a way that I know I love my wife. It's just as important as the big things I've done. So it's about the thought. Put your thought in it. And that's what they appreciate.
That's right.
You know, whether you male or female, get the appreciation out of it. And that means put some thought in what you're going to get.
That's right. And we talked about earlier the different types of love. Right. Well, one of the tests I suggest every married couple to do is the 5 love languages.
I was just like, you found it?
Yes.
I was going to say, do that.
Because if you don't know your wife's love language, you could be buying her all these gifts and she don't respond the way you think. She don't want the gifts. She wants your attention. Wow. She want that pat. She want that emotions of you. You know, that one-on-one with you. You know, say you're in a job that's very demanding and y'all don't have that one-on-one time and you come because you're late from work because of work, then you come bringing her the gifts and then she don't respond the way you think she should because that's not her love language.
And that might be his.
Exactly.
So it's important to know yours too.
Exactly.
Because if you don't know yours, then it's kind of like when you don't know your purpose. So like when you don't know your love language, it's kind of tough to express or to explain it to the person that none of us are mind readers. Even if I flow in a prophetic gifting, I don't want him to have to always prophetically give me, oh, he wants you to do yada, yada, yada. I'm like, he better say something. Open up your mouth.
Exactly.
Open up your mouth and tell him yes. Yeah, you're going to have to open up your mouth and say something.
Yeah.
You know.
And you have to be upfront and honest with your spouse. Like, it was so funny because my husband and I, when we were little, when our kids were little, I'm sorry, when we were little too, but when our kids was little, I would always give them a list of things to buy for me for my birthday or whatever. My husband used to say, babe, why you do that? Just let them get what they want to get. I said, no, then they won't really know me. They won't really know what I want. They're just going to the store and pick stuff out. Or even when him and I first got married, he would bring cards a lot and put money in it or a gift card or something like that. And I was like, babe, I'm not a card person because anybody can walk. You can walk in, if it's Valentine Day, you can walk in there and pick up any kind of card. It's going to say something sweet. Yeah. I'd rather for you to write your own card.
Right.
Now that one means more to me.
Yeah. Listen. So,
go ahead.
One of the things I was sharing with someone at work, I was like, now granted I'm not dating currently, but I'm like, for my first Valentine's Day with my whomever he's chosen to be, I'm like $5, maybe $10. What I want you to do is create something. Yeah. Now, if he's saying he's not creative, I'm like, you were created from a creator. Find something. Because I want you to...
You better be ready, guys.
But the 100 is not even that you have to be artistic, so to speak, but to create from what you want to express to me. I want your expression.
That's right.
Like you said, even when people fight and they go and buy flowers and candy, and I'd be like, look, that's just gonna make me fat and have potpourri in my house. That don't mean that you're sorry. I want your heart. I want to know, like, your connectors are firing, and we're connecting, and you're communicating, and you're creating, and it's expressive. Yeah. And in the right way, you know. Right. So I'm like, if he brings this construction paper card in here, if it has all of his, roses are red, violets are blue, type thing. Like, I need to know your spin on it. I want to know how you're going to flip that up. Flip it.
And right here, I want to minister to you, Monique. I know you said that last year or years back, you said that you were really down about being single. So right now, where we're having this conversation,
Yes.
we pray to you, we speak to you right now
Right.
that this year you will
Yes,
not
Lord.
experience
In the
that.
name of
Do it,
That
Lord
God
Jesus
will
Christ.
bless you to just
Yes.
feel love from the north,
Yes.
south, east, and the
Yes.
west. Those that are
Yes.
around you, that they
Yes.
will be there for you, whether it's
Yes,
your nieces
Lord.
and nephews,
Yes.
your sisters or
Yes.
brothers. But you
Yes.
will not be sad on
Yes.
Valentine's Day.
Hallelujah.
The devil will not steal your joy
Hallelujah.
in no
That's
way, form, or
Yes.
fashion. So
Yes.
we speak to you
Yes.
that you will have joy, you will have laughter
Yes.
like you've never had. And we speak
Yes.
those things into existence
Yes.
right now. In the
Yes.
name of Jesus, we
Jesus,
pray.
yes.
Amen.
Amen. It's
Amen.
done, and believe it,
Yes.
Monique. Believe it in your heart.
Listen, we're
Yes.
looking for the praise reports
Amen.
from Monique.
Yes.
Write them
Yes.
and they'll let me know. But yeah, I want to
Yes.
know, Monique, look, next week, what is it, next Wednesday? Wednesday after
Wednesday
next.
after next.
Listen.
Yeah. Wednesday after next.
Girl.
Yes.
But I want to go. I
So
want to
Monique, thank you so much
Yes,
for sharing that.
sharing that.
That's what we want, you
Yes.
guys. We want you to be transparent with us so we'll know how to pray.
Yes.
This is a marriage ministry.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
yes.
it's about ministry. We
Yes.
want to meet the needs of the people
People, yes.
that we can pray for and speak into their lives.
Not
So
only in
Monique,
Arkansas, but around the world.
yes. So Monique,
Around the
thank you
world.
so much for sharing that and being transparent and
Yes.
allowing us to be able to pray with you
intercede
and
for you.
speak those blessings into existence into your life. Amen.
Amen.
Oh, precious
Amen.
wine. I'm excited.
Yes. Okay. So I don't know. We were
But
still
I
talking
want
about
to
Valentine. Go ahead,
piggyback
baby.
on about getting things for you for Valentine.
Yes.
It goes back to, like I say, guys, study your spouse. And now we talk on the marriage side, but on the single side also, you study that person that you may want to spend your life with. Study them. So my wife said, giving her a car with money and this and that. You know, I studied my wife. So I found out her size and this and that. So I go out and I buy her a whole outfit.
Come on.
Starting from the dress to the shoes to the purse and the earrings and everything.
That's right.
So that's right. So you do things like that's coming from studying your spouse and letting her know that, look, it ain't just no card here. I can go in and, like you said, Sister Mahalia, I go out and create something and bring to you.
Right.
It's the thought and the creativity of the
Yes.
situation.
That's it.
And on that note, women, if your man come bring you something from the dollar store, but he took a lot of things from the dollar store and created
Right.
this amazing
Ooh.
basket, don't go there. Don't go there and say,
Talk to him,
where
baby.
this come from? Don't do that. He did his best at the moment. Don't
Yes.
tear your man
Right.
down.
Yes.
Because, you know, that's one of the things that as married people or people that want to be married, you have to watch this right here. Because we
Power
can
of the
tear
tongue.
down some people. That goes for husbands tearing down a wife, or wife tearing down the husband. Don't do him like that. Say, baby, I thank you, and I know this is from the heart.
Yes.
Whatever you need to do to let him know that you appreciate that what he did, because he took time out. He went in that store, even though it might have been a Dollar Tree or a dollar store. He went in that store. He picked out what he know you like.
And that ain't being cheap either. That sound like some folks that think they up here. The bottom line is, so you stay right there because somebody else can deal with you up
That's
there.
right.
But the bottom line is, like my wife say, it's the thought. It's the thought you put into it. And
like there was
there
a
was
comment
thought.
on Facebook that about a ring, and it was saying if I don't know who all saw that, but it was something about if that man proposed to you with this ring, what would your response be? And it was a whole bunch of comments. Some people was like, he better not bring me that type of ring. Or other people was like, I would take it because I know it's from the heart or whatever. So watch your mouth. You know, if a man think that no matter what you bring, he brings to you, you're not going to be happy, you running them off.
He gonna be bringing to somebody else.
Exactly.
Sheree like it.
There you go.
Sheree like my rings.
And so we got to build our men up.
That's right.
Amen.
You know, nobody is perfect. We all have flaws.
That's right.
We're totally transparent on bone to bone. And there's stuff that my husband, I didn't like about him. I would get aggravated about him. And God spoke to me and dealt with me with that thing. It's like, no, you approach it this way. There's always a way to approach it in love.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus does a great job of doing that. Like, even in just your regular relationships, he'll show you how to, to correct those things or bring attention to those things. But like she said, we killing off people with our mouths. And then their little hearts are crushed, and then you mad because he with the dime piece giving. He put his last in buying for her, and I'm like, well, the 100 was how many times did you turn his stuff away before when it was something that you felt like was small or petty? And that's not to give you an excuse or not to invest in the woman. I'm saying, if that is your absolute best, if that is your full amount or capacity of expression, then she would know. Yeah, she would know that.
She will.
But if she know you can do a whole lot better than that, if she knows that you'll put more into your favorite football team and or whatever sports,
now there's a problem.
Versus her, somebody just became a mistress, and you ask her to wear your last name. So I think you did, think those things through.
Think that through, definitely.
But yeah.
But another I don't know if it was a video or it was a quote. I don't exactly remember, but I know it was Michelle Obama and Barack Obama sitting at a table. And apparently someone walked up. It was a guy that walked up to the table and started talking to Michelle. He knew her. And so Michelle, just kind of talked to him for a minute. And then her and Barack went back to talking after he left. And he was like, who was that? And they had conversation about who the guy was or whatever. And so they say Barack made the conversation where something about you don't know that she's married to the president now, whatever. But she said, no, if I had married him, he would be the president. So it was that woman building that man up, getting him to where he needed to be. So the moral of the story was she was saying whoever she marries, she's going to build up to know that they can walk in that position of being the president. So it wasn't about the person that she was married to. It was about what she was going to do to help her man get to the potential that God has placed on his life.
I want to say this, and I know you guys sitting out there and you saying, I know how he's sitting there and they talking about how they build the building, da. But the bottom line is, this is what a true man does. He listened to his wife. And this is how he found out how to continue to love her. Regardless of what's coming from the outside, trying to do their thing, trying to derail you or get your attention. When you listen to your spouse and you truly love her from the inside out, when you listen, you learn a whole lot more how to love her at a high level in Jesus Christ. Just because I'm listening, this is positive to me. No matter how hard you think you are out there, guys, this is positive talk. And matter of fact, let me just say this, and it may step on some toes out there. When I go to church now, I see more women's coming to Christ than men. So y'all need to step it up, brothers, and learn how to listen to the sisters, because right now, we ain't showing up. We ain't showing up like we should. And that may be throwing some punches or whatever, but the bottom line is, guys, we got to step it up in love and quit being this puffed up brothers, and killing each other and thinking about fighting and killing and fighting all this type of. We lovers. We love. God created us to be lovers. Lovers to one.
Oh yeah.
To one.
One.
Yeah.
I said that 3 times now.
Like one.
The Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Right. And not 3 different ones.
Yeah.
Like he meant just one.
Just one.
That's right. So please go ahead and share the video. If you haven't done that yet, go ahead and share this video. We just going in tonight. Yeah, we just going in.
Ask some questions. We want questions, guys.
Yes.
I did have a thing. So someone brought it to our attention at work, and they were reading the book called The Kindness Challenge, I think. And it's a big thing. And where for 30 days you pick a person or persons and you decide, thank you, Lord. That one thought that I had, it just came back. Go ahead. You decide to love on that person, to be kind to that person, even when it's tough for that one person. Well, what I was going to say was, when you were saying, don't tear that person down, and I was going to say, not just face to face, but to your friends.
Oh, that's right.
About that person.
Wow, that's
so,
good.
like,
That's
not
good.
just to that person, but about that person. So in the kindness challenge, you're being kind, not just to that person, but with your conversation about that person is also just kind. And that creates and builds love.
It does.
Amen.
It does.
Amen.
A phileo love, an agape love, a storge love. Like it creates those types of love, and it's so good. It's so good to be loved. It just feels good.
And with that, what she was just saying, you have to watch your circle. Because I shared a testimony one time before that when my husband and I first got married, of course, we were in the church and we connected with a couple that was in the church. And you automatically think, people have good marriages in the church or whatever, but I was around someone that the woman's conversation was always saying, I don't need a man, I'm married, but I don't need a husband or whatever. And I pulled back from that because I'm like, I need every bit of my husband. God bless me with him and I need him. And so watch your circle. If you're around women that don't truly love their husband and bad mouthing and tearing their husband down, you don't want to be in that circle because that spirit will jump you.
This is bone to bone, married to the heart.
That spirit will jump you and you'll find yourself acting some kind of way with your husband and not even understanding or vice versa. Because I was feeling some kind of way with my husband. I'd be like, I was getting aggravated at him real easily. And I was like, where is this coming from? So I prayed to God and he revealed that source and I removed that source out of my life. Because I was like, ain't nothing coming between this right here.
Right.
And you got to believe that. I know y'all saying, look, come on, it ain't all fluffy duffy like that, but the bottom line is this is real love, and this is why we in the ministry. And like I told you earlier in the show, we ain't going back. We in this thing together forever. She gonna be my sister in heaven, but on earth she gonna be my wife. She gonna be my wife.
And like the word was saying, God looked at after he did all this wonderful creating, he's like, it's not good for man to be alone.
Be alone. That's the word.
But not necessarily. Here's the thing: it's not good to be alone, but lonely is something totally different.
That is.
Yes.
So, two different entities.
Spend this time learning.
Expound on that though.
Well, hold on. Let me. This comment kind of goes with that. I'm gonna find it. Okay. A woman of God. I'm not looking at the exact, but she was saying that she's in a place where she feel God have her married to him, and that she's not supposed to marry. That's where God has some people. Right. You got to know that for yourself. Everybody is not meant to be married. Or if you were married before and you want to marry again, if God is speaking to you and saying that's not what he wants for you, you have to listen. We have to obey God.
Yes.
We can't get.
He loves us enough.
Exactly. He loves us enough to know what we need when we don't know it. We can want one thing and God totally be like, boo, that ain't what you want. And so, Amen. So I just want to go ahead and finish
that's why I married her. You see, that's why I married her. This is a ministry.
And Monique said, I received that. And actually, I have a book titled Praise Report. Praise God.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
That's awesome. And so I hope I've gotten everybody's comments and questions. I didn't get a lot of questions. I got more comments. But God we just opened our mouth and God took this thing.
Amen.
Look, I see hearts.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, y'all. I am not real savvy with the whole Facebook Live. I'm on Facebook and I'm not on Facebook. So she was like, you got to learn all this stuff. I'm like, I guess I do. Yes. But, I'm like, oh, they're hearts.
Yeah.
Oh, those are cute.
That was from our sister Shantae.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Shantae.
Bless you, woman of God.
She's got a man at Well, not really, but it's coming.
So is the other young lady single? Are you referring to on this show right now? Is that what you're referring to, Derek? Sister Mahalia is single.
You make sure you get it right, Derek. I'm just joking, man.
It's got to be God's. It's got to be God.
Yeah.
We don't play. Like that's what it's about. It's about having a circle of people accountable, because ain't just anybody gonna step to my girl.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because I'd be like, no, brother, back up. And we circle in. So that's when it's good to, hey, Renee Watson.
That's my sister, everybody.
Yes. And so it's about accountability again. And Mahalia has we have had a conversation and she'll minister to me about something. If I've shared something with her, a question or something dealing with marriage or whatever. So, she'll say, well, maybe, this is the way you should handle it, or maybe this is that. So accountability, knowing the fruit, important. Knowing the people, you got to know who's around you and what their gifts are.
That's the word.
Because we can all learn from each other. Yes. And so, that's it, man. That's just, wow. So I know our time is probably about up.
Well, you know what? We're not in the studio.
Yeah, we're in our studio.
That's right. So if we want to keep
Renee
going.
said she just came in.
Hey, do
Shantae
y'all want us?
said, welcome,
Hold up, baby.
y'all
Hold up.
glory. Mama just started watching.
Do
Hey, Dr. Smith.
Do y'all want us to keep going? Just throw us some thumbs up if
Oh,
you want us to
Lord.
keep
The
going.
gentleman has got to come through me for the application of mail.
Oh.
Is that Renee?
That is Renee.
I figured. Thank you, darling.
Just looking at the setup of conversation wouldn't approach like that. That's what Derek said. Okay, we're doing it God way.
That's right.
Because, you know, like I say, Facebook, people get on here and no, we ain't going there. But anyway, so do anybody else have any other questions before we go off? Praise God, Pastor Pastor
They're throwing a
Marcus.
thumb, baby, saying stay on there.
Oh.
Oh, well, I'll speak to that too. Like when
Go ahead.
it comes down to my dating and things of that nature, I've been so misread. There are times, like I say to most guys, like if I'm approaching you to say, hey, or like if it's ministerially motivated, I'm like, I love your ministry, I love what God is doing through you, or whatever. I'm like, don't misconstrue that. That's me
it.
giving I'm sharpening my brother and or my sister, and I have zero problems with that. I'll give a woman a props. I'll give a man a prop.
That's right.
I'm not interested in women in eros. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not. I'm like, really. And then when it comes down to the dating thing, I love God's process for me. Like it really has been a wonderful process.
Yes.
So am I anxious or thirsty? Not at all. He has been a place where I enjoy doing all that I get to do, and not necessarily like Pastor Mike and them say, shout out Transformation Church. I'm not striving, I'm striding.
Yes.
And God is really
right.
ordering it, and He's had me to put things on pause so that I can do whatever He's asking me to do. Like tomorrow, I'll get to go back to my alma mater to talk to them about being an author. And I love that I get to do that. Then later on, I get to see some of my old classmates because we're coming together for one of our classmates' homegoing celebration. And I get to travel and I get to do what he's asking me to do. Then at my, what they call literally my government job, I get to serve veterans. So, and then I get to minister, and then I get to talk to people about domestic violence awareness. And I love doing what I get to do. And he's ordering those steps. So the 100 is, even though I'm not striving, in other words, I'm not sprinting, I'm walking. I'm like, sir, if you can walk alongside me, I understand, or he'll show me when it is that I'm supposed to, be propelling whomever it is. And I'm a nurturer, so I love to do it. Just know that I won't be doing it for the wrong one.
I want to piggyback on what you just said.
Sure,
So
go ahead.
This is very important. She's saying she ain't sprinting, she's striding.
Mm-hmm.
When you sprinting, you miss a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
You
Including
miss
breath.
a lot, right? A lot of things. There's some things that you sprint by that God wants you to see. But you sprint by it and kept going, so that door closes. So when you striding, God will show you things where you can slow it down, and you can see these things He needs you to see. Like she said, she's letting Him order her steps.
Yeah.
That's why she's in this place. She's fasting, she's praying, she's on her knees, she's giving God the praise, who He is in glory. So that's why, sir, when you step to her, have Christ first, where she can see Christ first.
Okay, let me make a comment. Okay, Derek said, I don't date. I wait to hear God, so please forgive me. No, we didn't. I mean, no one got offended. We're just bringing clarity. So you're fine. We appreciate you tuning in.
I just want you to have the right woman you were talking to, Derek. That's the one out there.
He didn't want you to be talking about that one.
Oh, no.
I'm just messing with you, Derek. Thank you for tuning in, and tune in next week, baby. We're gonna set you up right.
Yeah, and that's one of the things also we talked about being equally yoked and unequally yoked. When you're equally yoked, like that's not something we even worry about. Like when my husband is not with me, I don't worry about women in his face because I know who he's coming to at home that night. And when I'm away, because I do motivational speak, I travel sometime without him, and so he's not worried about who's calling me, who's in my face. I always say, do not marry out of your league. And what I mean by that is, do not marry someone that you're going to spend all your life
being jealous,
trying to look around, see what they're doing, checking their phones or whatever. It takes too much energy for all of that. Been there, done that. I was married to someone that was jealous like that. So I know what that life consists of, and it is not good. It is a miserable life. So what I mean by not marrying out your league is if you feel like you are threatened by that woman's outgoing personality or outspoken attitude, or like when she steps in a room, she know who she is, and that bothers you or intimidates you, keep going. Keep going. Guys, don't put yourself through that.
Guys, I embrace that personality that she has. She's an independent woman. See, when you're a true man, you embraces that. You want your woman to stand tall beside you, not behind you or not in front of you, but with you. Yes. She's my helpmeet, and that's what I embrace. So, when I married her, I went into another league.
Yeah. And he saw things in me. He saw things in me that I did not see. Like literally, we will celebrate 15 years next month. Praise Jesus.
Hey, look, I do it. I don't mind doing it.
And so when we got married, like I said, I had a lot of issues that I had from the past that I didn't see my full potential. Ooh. But he did, and God blessed him to see those things and help pull them out. So he never tried to hold me down or push me back. He always said, babe, you can do this. You can be that author. And now I'm an author.
And beyond.
He said, you can be that motivational speaker. And now I am. And so it's just several platforms that I get to be a part of because my husband helped push me into places that I wasn't comfortable in. He helped push me out of my comfort zone into what God destined me to do. Mm-hmm. So, hey, help me. When you got that help me, and when you got the one God ordained, you're going to help be better for that person. Right. You're not going to come in and hold that person back or make that person be less than what they are. Make that person not be able to be themselves. Because if you can't be yourself, that's a miserable life.
Another thing I want to touch on before we go off the air for single people, male and female. If you
just tuned in. Who? CC and Sister Lethea, hey y'all, they just tuned in.
Oh yeah, well stay there. We ain't going nowhere. We have our personal studio tonight, so we on. So but I want to say this though.
Very clear. She is your evening Stevie Wonder can see that. Oh,
that's good. But I want to say this. This is a very important aspect. Oh, he's on.
Junior just tuned in.
Hey son, how you doing? Is that when you're looking for a lady or a lady, when you're looking for the lady, guys,
right.
Yes.
Make sure that when you find her and y'all start collaborating and heading towards that engagement and marriage, if you can see that female with you, if something happened to you, if you got paralyzed or something, God forbid, if you can see that lady being with you through all the thick and thin, she's probably the right one. And vice versa. Guys, I know when you find her, you want to study her and you'll find that out. Whether this lady will be with me, and then vice versa. I mean, the lady, you'll know this guy will be with you.
Right.
If something happened to you. Right. Those are key aspects that you need to look for. Right. Will that person be with you in the valley?
Come on. And that goes back to, again, image. If all you can think about is image and eros, then loyalty is not really one of those things that you can kind of weigh in on, because if something happens and her face gets disfigured, that's not the image you want.
That's deep. That's
and
a
then
good
all
example.
of a sudden,
good example.
All of a sudden,
where did the love go?
Right. So you gotta be a little deeper.
Yes.
Than image. You can't be just image deep or eros deep.
Yes. All right, you guys. So it has been so wonderful. You guys have given comments.
If y'all want to stay on, keep throwing thumbs up. Keep throwing thumbs.
Look,
if y'all want to stay on, keep throwing thumbs.
We gotta eat. I'm gonna watch the replay tomorrow on my lunch break. I'm exhausted. Okay, CC. Thank you. Love you too.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
I always say, I think I was telling y'all earlier about the clapback. I always say, what are you doing to make marriage appealing, or I'm waiting on you to be happy in your marriage? Single people want want to see marriage working for real.
Oh, that's good.
So I'm going to speak to the
yes.
singles on behalf, speak to the married couples on behalf of singles. We want to see it working for real. I'm not just talking about in front of us, but like how she or he is speaking when they're not around that significant other.
Yes,
we want to
yes.
know that it works for real. And I'm not saying that I have a doubt or a lack of whatever, but I am saying you got to think about what product you're selling to other people if you ain't buying it yourself. Like if you ain't for real about your marriage, work on it and keep tuning in to Bone to Bone and work on it.
Right.
Because other people are watching and we're gleaming.
Right.
And if what we're eating is bad fruit, I'll vomit it out. And so then don't come asking me about why I'm not married. I'm like, you ain't gave me the product.
But I want to say
what you got.
But I want to say this though. Get it in your system to love your spouse. I mean, make it a habit. Yeah. Get it in your spirit to love it. And God is going to enhance that. All you got to do is get it in your system to love your spouse at a high level. Keep that. I mean, if anything else in your life, keep that point of your life at a very high level.
That's good.
And then get it in your system. And it just so my wife and I, wherever we go, I'm treating her opening her doors, pulling her chair out, putting her jacket on her shoulders, kissing on the jaw, doing it all. It's in my system. So the bottom line is, just because I woke up and got out of bed, I'm going to love her through the whole 24.
That's right.
And that's the bottom line, 24/7.
And you're able
365
to do that
days.
Sorry. Go ahead. And you're able to do that because you love you. And the Bible talks about pretty much that one flesh being that you're loving her because you love you. That's so I'm going to speak to my single people too now. Like if you're real selfish right now, if it's always got to be about you, and that maybe something you want to do is start checking to see if you're loving you or if you're just feeling entitled.
Wow.
So you want to start, putting love deposits in you. And as you're putting love deposits in you, that makes you a better single, so that when you're getting married, then you've put a lot in your love bank. You can love on that other person, and you understand it's reciprocated.
Yes.
So I wanted to point that out. That's why he's able to get up every morning and like, how I'm gonna make her love me more. That type of thing. So I love it.
What you did to get them in the dating stage, you have to continue that. That don't change when you get married.
But you can get good at it, like I just told you.
Get better at it.
I said something. The English majors, I gotta say, you get better at it by getting it in your system. Work on it.
So thank you for tuning in, Andrea. Thank you, Shantae, for inviting her. Tiffany said, "Great seeing you, Mahalia."
Hi, it's great seeing you, love.
Yes. Renee said, "Love y'all and have a great night."
Thanks, Renee.
Derek said, "Amen." Marlene, I'm sorry you just tuned in. You're going to have to catch the replay, girl.
Thanks for coming in, Marlene and Mr. Derek. Thank you.
But
share the video.
Y'all.
Share the video, guys.
Yes,
this is awesome
information
tonight.
Yes. So before we go off, I'd like to say thank y'all so much for having me. It's been fun.
Hey, Mama Trip. Look, she just tuned in. Catch the replay,
Did you
Mama
just
Trip.
wake up and get it?
Mwah, that's one of my loves.
Yes. But we thank y'all so much for tuning in. You have been tuned in to Bone to Bone, Marriage of the Heart. We love you guys. Share the video. Even after we get off, you can share the replay. We thank Mahalia Watson so much for coming on the show tonight. God used her and allowed us to minister to you all. So thank y'all for tuning in. We will see y'all next week. Same date, same time. And we love y'all. Same day. Yeah, same day, Thursday. I told y'all I'm getting hungry. Good
night, everybody. We love y'all. Tune in next week at 7:30 Thursday.
Amen. Good night.
Yay.
You can still wave to him because he didn't get it.
Oh, okay. It might be just a whole